Cashin In starts right now.
Well, Walmart's shaking up the healthcare debate in a big way this week. The retail giant now offering mail-order prescription drugs for just $10. Well, is this proof the free market can get the job done and the government, well, should just butt out? Hello, everyone. I'm Terry Keenan, and welcome to Cashin In. Our Cashin In crew this week, the boys are here. Wayne Rogers, Jonathan Honig, and Jonas Max Ferris, along with Tracy Burns. Also joining us today, the editor of OpEdNews.com, Steve Laser. John Layfield, he'll be back next week. Welcome, everybody. Okay, Jonathan, is Walmart's prescription price drop proof that the free market can actually fix this healthcare mess?
Absolutely, Terry. I mean, there's already estimates that Walmart saves the average family $2,500 a year, and that was before their push into prescription drugs. Whenever you see Walmart, or capitalism for that matter, you always see massive wealth creation, employment, and lower prices. So what we need for healthcare is more private, profit-seeking business, not bigger government spending and an even larger entitlement state.
Steve, Walmart has the answer?
Oh, come on, Jonathan. I mean, look, this is more smoke and mirrors from the private health insurance industry and big pharma. The reality behind this, there's 300 generic drugs being offered here for $10 a piece. If you've ever gotten prescription drugs in the past, you know that there's not a whole lot of generic drugs that cost much more than $10 a piece. This is smoke and mirrors, and it really doesn't add a whole lot to helping with healthcare.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's, if nothing else, it's getting people in the door. It's helping people. It's making them feel like somebody's looking out for them. And look, Terry, all we hear about is how the pharmaceutical companies are robbing us left and right. Walmart comes out and offers this plan. I think at the end of the day, you do save money. And you know what? They did have, prior to this, the generic pay $4.
Right, the $4 plan.
Right. So Walmart's been trying all along to help people out. And I actually think, to Jonathan's point, they're doing a pretty good job at it.
Yeah, Wayne, Walmart care better than the White House prescription here?
I don't think it's a question of Walmart versus the White House or anything like that. I think it's a question of saying that the free market competition is better than regulation. In other words, if you have competition in the marketplace, prices will come down, consumers will get the best deal. If you have it dominated by one entity, in this case the federal government, you're going to have a price fixing in a way that there's no control over it. Competition will control it. Regulation, get rid of, let the competition do it. For example, Teva, T-E-V-A, Teva Pharmaceuticals, a great worldwide, if you will, pharmaceutical company that does all of these generic drugs. They do very well.
It's the Israeli company. You own it, Wayne?
I happen to own that stock. Yes, I do.
Okay, thought you might. I don't know. Okay, Jonas, you know, everyone who's tried to compete with Walmart knows that it's hard to beat them on competition. So why not let them into this arena? Maybe they should manage the whole thing.
They're in, and there's certainly a component of keeping costs down, both in regular items and in healthcare. This is an example of they don't do shoulder surgery at Walmart, so to some extent there's limitations to what they can do. I will say it's actually a case of where a large single payer could drive down prices. At Walmart, one of the reasons stuff is so cheap at Walmart, it's not the union busting so much, it's not the China stuff, it's a roll. It's actually they're so big that they dictate prices to, say, a paper towel company.
But
that's
Jonas,
why let me finish.
Let him finish.
So, in theory, if the government was run as well as Walmart, and that's in theory at best, they could dictate prices and get lower prices being a huge single payer. I'm not saying it's going to happen because the government isn't run as well as Walmart, but it does show the power of being a single payer in the system.
So, Jonathan, a case for the government getting into this, according to Jonas.
Well, they're already in it, Terry. That's the problem. I mean, you know, guys like Steve, I think, would have you believe that the free market has failed when it comes to health care. But, of course, the federal government already accounts for more than half of all the health care spending in this country. Health care is one of the most highly regulated industries in the country. So I do think that a free market solution, forget the fact that it's moral, it is more practical. And, God, I wish Walmart would get into the hospital business. I wish they'd perform shoulder surgeries. Patients and doctors, the whole country would be better off for it.
I don't think doctors would like that so much. I think that doctors would get paid $20 an hour if Walmart got into the hospital industry.
But Jonathan brings up a good point. If this is such a great profit-making business, why don't more innovative companies get into the business of shoulder surgery?
They haven't been forced to, and I think there's been so much profit in the industry without government coming in and making some people afraid that they're going to come in and do something. It's interesting. This hasn't happened until...
But that's your whole thing, right?
Everybody's so afraid of Walmart. Why is everyone so afraid of Walmart? Walmart is capitalism at its best. It does something right. And everyone comes down on this company for doing something.
I didn't come down on
right.
Walmart.
No.
I'm just saying this is a very
Terry,
limited program.
there's an interesting answer to your question, which, first of all, is when Walmart sells you some defective merchandise, it doesn't immediately turn into a $40 million lawsuit. A lot of hospitals lose money in America. It's not a great business compared to selling stuff cheap to Americans. So there are problems in the business as to why competition comes in at the scale of a big box retailer.
Wayne, I'll give you the last word.
Well, I was going to say, Steve, do you argue with the Kaiser Permanente plan? I mean, that's a very successful way in which doctors are put on the payroll. That they don't charge; they are paid by the plan. What's the matter with that?
Nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. But
okay. Well, then why would you argue against it?
Well, Kaiser Permanente is one thing. I think if you're expecting Walmart to come in and sort of take over hospitals, I think you'd see a lot more objections from the American Medical Association.
Thanks, everybody. Coming up next, food prices. Well, are they set to soar? Walmart and other places. Why something Congress is considering could have you shelling out more green.